Jewish business, small business people, supermarkets, apparel stores, for example, or folks in real estate had business interests at City Hall, zoning, tax policy, and were therefore engaged civically out of their self-interest of their business, but were also willing to use those relationships and felt an obligation to the community to use those relationships in service to Jewish concerns. Owner of a local range of housing development who 90% of their relationship with the mayor of Boston is business interest, but they're also willing to call the mayor when they're concerned about, say, police department responding to anti-Semitism. To a large extent, I look around today and I see a lot of the Jewish volunteer leaders don't have their own interests at City Hall professionally. Like they're not engaged in civic life because of the business interests that they have. And therefore, they're not holding those relationships in turn with the ability to say, Governor, I've been your friend and ally for many years. We worked a lot together in advancement of the zoning policy. I'm concerned about how the state is responding on this issue of Jewish concern. And I think it's a real change in the Jewish volunteer leadership over the last several decades.
Right. So it's interesting to think about whether that is due to the changing dynamics of industry or whether it's changing civic culture. Just like the retailers of the past, the probably people in real estate, people in banking today, they do well when community writ large does well. And so they have a stake, for the bank's case, like depositors, when the whole community thrives, they actually make more money. The retailers are kind of gone as a major force. Employers can think, if they choose to, think about the long-term health of their community as, well, we do definitely need a good education system so that we can hire good employees. We definitely want safe community with good leasing for the sake of our business and employees. The cultural change is that a lot of people separate their economic interests from their civic ones, and they have not developed those kinds of relationships that you're talking about with the mayor, the governor. They don't know how policymaking works. They literally don't know how a bill becomes a law. And that's a real challenge when you have an issue like maybe in the Jewish community. It was like, well, okay, we need people who have these relationships to now say something in defense of interests of the Jewish people. And you have a huge number of people who might think of themselves as wanting to be engaged, but they don't know how to do it and they don't have the relationships.